What's going on, guys? I hope your weekend is going great. Just get a little bit of a different one here. So as you can see, no former intro. I am working on updating that, so within the next week or two here we should have a new cinematic intro to go through. But yeah, this video is just going to be covering my whole new home office, workstation, whatever you want to call it. Basically I'm just transforming my room into what's going to be my office for the next couple of years while I'm living at home. So obviously the goal eventually is going to be getting into a shop or something like that, and maybe I can do all my editing out of there too eventually, but for now obviously I'm starting out at home and just going to make the best with what I can with it. So in this video we are covering three main things, and that is getting my internet set up. So I actually went ahead and purchased the Xfinity X5 gateway as well as their Gigabit Plus plan, which should net me about 1200 megabits per second download and upload speeds. So that was really the main reason after starting all this, and then I realized, well, if I'm getting new internet to help with uploading, then I might as well get a new PC as well. So we're going to be covering a whole new PC build. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of it here. So stay tuned if you want to see that in a couple minutes here. And there's going to be timestamps in the description of this video, just telling you where all the steps along the way are, because obviously this is going to be a longer one. Also check the description if you want to see a detailed list of what I have as far as parts go in this PC build. I did spend about $1,200 before monitors and mouse and keyboard and all that. So just $1,200 in the case and parts, plus I don't know, $300 total for both monitors, like $100 for this mouse, and probably like another $80 for the keyboard. So that's where we're looking here. Again, all of that in the description. After finishing the internet stuff, we'll be moving everything out of this room, and I'm saying this future tense, but I'm sitting in the finished setup right now. But we'll be moving everything out and setting up the new desk, the new chair I'm sitting in right now, which is like a gaming style, pretty standard, right? We've got this L desk, which is brand new for my room. I had like a straight desk before, which you guys will see in a couple minutes here. So yeah, I don't want to take too much time before the video. Let's just roll right into it. Alright, so the first thing that I'm doing before I do anything else in this room is I'm setting up my new Xfinity X5 Internet Hub. So little hang up with this one is that in order to get network to this, there's no slot to get from the phone outlet in the wall. You actually have to use the coax, which is probably like the newer style for these, but I've just never seen it before. The current router we have in one of the other rooms in the house has just a standard square phone thing. You put it in there and then you put it into the wall and boom, you have internet. So this actually uses coax, which is like a thick, stiff cable that's got a pin running through it like that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to run a cable up through the crawl space in order to hook this thing up too. So yeah, this is the old setup, which you guys, this is where I'm coming from, and then wherever this video started, obviously that's the new setup. So I'm going to get down in the crawl space, show you guys what I'm working with. Alright, so we are down in the crawl space. It is so full of spider webs. I was already down there. I knocked out a bunch of the spider webs that were in my way, but yeah. We have a single story ranch house, so it's really long. You can't even see the wall of it. There it is. There all the way to, you can't even see it, the wall down there. So single story, but we do have a crawl space that runs all the way underneath it. And funny thing is, actually, I was looking at, let's see if you can see me, yeah, I was looking at the blueprints for this house. The house builder actually kept them in one of our closets, and we were supposed to have a full basement, so they started digging it looks like, but never finished, and now we just have a crawl space. So right off the bat, if you guys are doing this at home, you want to look for cables. So all of our cables happen to be right here next to where you drop in from, which is super convenient. They might not be that way. So you see we got this one really dirty coax cable that we're looking at here that comes all the way from really the bricks. It comes from outside the house. So if I trace this, so you want to find like a singular coax cable like this, and you can tell it's a coax because of how stiff it is. Like I can barely even bend it, plus it's old and brittle. But trace this up to, hopefully you have some sort of a splitter box like we do. So we got one mounted in. I'm just sure a cable guy at some point installed this. So we got our one cable comes from outside the house, brings internet in, and obviously cable for TV. And we got 3 outputs here. So I already traced all these down, so there's no guesswork here. But number 1 goes all the way over to my mom's bedroom for her cable. Number 2 goes right over there to our family room TV. It's like a den. It's like not quite a living room. It's just like a hangout room. And then third outlet here goes right there, and then actually straight up into the living room, which is like right under where we are right now. So we do need all 3 of these still. If we didn't, it would be just simple as unscrewing one of these, screwing one from my bedroom. Actually, it would be even easier to just disconnect it down there and pull it through the floor. My bedroom's right across over there and straight up, so that would be the easiest way. But we need all 3 of these still for TV in this house. So what I'm going to do in a little bit here is run a Home Depot. They have a 5-way, so 1 input, 4 outputs. It actually might be 1 input, 5 outputs. I'm not entirely sure, but so that way I can disconnect each of these one by one, disconnect that one, drill in the new splitter in this place, and then obviously add the extra output. And then I'd be running it down there to my room. You can see kind of one hanging down. The other order of business is I'm going to need to find a cable that is both long enough and supports high network capabilities. So the plan I end up going with is the Xfinity X5 Gigabit Plus. So I should, on full power, get 1200 megabits a second download speeds. Now, I don't think that's going to be possible, but I do want to get as close to that as possible. And one of the ways is by using a high power splitter, so one that doesn't degrade the strength of the signal, and also a high quality cable. So there are a few down here that I could use, but they're very old. And that one's kind of bent, but very old. Not really sure how strong that signal is going to be, so I'm definitely going to pick up new cables. So we got all those too that I could use too, but again, I'm just going to get my own, cut it exactly to where it needs to be, and that's another thing to maximize signal strength, is to run as short of a line as possible so you don't have all this extra cable coiled up creating electromagnetic noise, I believe it's called. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to get a cable. I'm going to get a splitter kit, so like one that cuts it, strips it, and one that you can attach a new whatever you call this fitting onto. I'm going to get a 10-pack of those fittings, and I'm going to get obviously like I think 50 foot of cable, the 5-way splitter. So I will pick this up when I have all of those things, and also when I'm drilling the hole over there, so should be pretty fun. So I'm going to cut this little square out of the carpet here in order to give the drill more room, because I don't want it spinning the carpeting around. So I'm just going to do that, and right next to it, see if I can peel it up. It's a really tough carpet. Let's see how she does. Can't even see where it went. So I'm starting off with a smaller drill bit, and then I'm going to work up to a bigger one. Alright, so it's right about there. I'll switch drill bits. Alright, so I've got the 3/8 drill bit here now. It's not quite big enough, but it's going to get us there. Let's go to the same spot. Oh. Just like when we were doing the strut tower. Alright, now we'll jump straight over to the 1/2. And the 1/2 inch should just be big enough for our coax cable. If it's not, we'll have to work it around like that in order to make it bigger. Yeah, that's great. me try something else. That feels different. Hope I'm not cutting through like a pipe or something. That'd be great, right? You gotta double check. When I was under there, I didn't know where this would be. Alright, so we got our hole kind of drilled here, but I am hitting something kind of hard on the underside, so I'm going to go check it out. But from Home Depot, we got a 50-foot RG6 coaxial cable. This should be long enough to run from our splitter right up through that hole in the room. And actually, it should be more than long enough. Here's our new splitter here. It's a 4-way rather than a 3-way. We got 1 in and 4 outs. Be just enough. And then I got 2 Cat 6 Ethernet cables here. 1 for my Xbox and 1 for my computer and the new setup. So I'm going to head down there and see if I can see where that is from the underside and see what we're hitting. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the hole is drilled right about there behind where those pipes are going up. And my next step is going to be replacing this splitter. So up here, got my 7/16 wrench to help me with the fittings here. Got my 50-foot cable. And here it is, my Phillips head on a drill, and our new 4-way splitter, or 5-way, whatever you would call this. Alright, 1 in, 4 outs. So, take this, fit back down in here, and I'm just going to remove both the screws that are holding this one in. So there's one. It's gonna fall. It's not magnetic. Okay, one right there, and then other one right here. Okay, before I do that, I'm just gonna disconnect all of them too. So let me set this down and see how easy these are. Okay, I'm gonna need a wrench for those, I think. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully it's the same 7/16. I'm not sure though. Oh, these might be. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. So I got the new splitter box put in there, mounted up in place. This middle one right here is the power of the cable coming from the outside of the house. I got this upper one hooked up with the living room. Now I'm gonna hook up this bottom output over to my bedroom. So. Okay, so I got that all tightened down. I'm just going to pull it tight. There we go. And I'm trying my best not to keep this coiled around anything. And it's going to be coiled around itself, that's no doubt. And there's already spiders and spider webs on it. That's hilarious. So, yeah, this is insane down here. With all these webs. No matter where you go, you walk right into them. And you got these dead centipedes, too. They're hundreds of legs all shriveled up. Yeah. It's a good time. So I'm gonna, off camera, I'm gonna run this up through each of these floorboards here until we get over to there, and then I'll run it up into my bedroom. So I have this feeding up through the floor now. I think somebody grabbed it. So that will hook right up to the back of my router. So this will just sit like this and go back to where we were working at that switch. So let's have a few things to wrap up over here. Okay, so there is the finished splitter install. See, we got all 5 ports being used now. One going to my room now for my own internet. So let's go set this thing up now. Alright, so I'm going to be starting off with the PC build. So here's all the parts. I'll run through them real quick. This isn't going to be too in-depth. For the GPU, I've got the 4060 Ti. Got the i5 14500 for my processor. For RAM, I've got 32GB dual stick setup. Got my 2TB M.2 storage drive here. My power supply, it's an A650. I've got this aftermarket air cooler for the CPU. The Wi-Fi card, because the motherboard does not come with the Wi-Fi card, so this is the Asus Prime B760 Plus. And then the case I went with is right here, the Montech Air 903 Max. So it's the Max, it's the mid-height version, and it's got 3 fans on front and 1 in back. It's the 4-fan setup. So without further ado, I'm just gonna knock this thing out. Alright, so full disclosure, this is the first time I'm ever building a PC, and between clips here I'm watching a video over on my laptop. So I have a Phillips Head 2 and a Phillips Head 0, should be all I need. So I've already got the motherboard unboxed here. I'm just going to carefully cut it open. Don't even need to. Look at that. So the motherboard is the very center of the entire PC. Well, it's the brain, if you will, controlling all different functions and routing signal. But the actual center of the PC is this guy right here, your processor. It's funny with how big computers are, and especially their case, this small part right here is the actual computer, if you will. So I'm gonna install it onto the motherboard first and foremost right here. So we get to remove this. I guess it's just a cover in search of incredible. That's cool. Toss that. And we will open up the processing area like that. There we go. We'll pull this back. Now, okay, I see. So the arrow is right here on the actual bracket. So I will take that arrow right there and in the corner and line it up. Set the CPU right down there. Fits nicely. Minimal wiggle. Set that down. Ooh, that's gonna be a little tight, I guess. Was not expecting that. Yeah. Let me make sure it's all the way in. Yeah, that's where it goes. And clamp it down. Okay, so CPU is in place. Now, well, first of all, I can get rid of the stock fan that they give me. You notice, kind of nice, because we will be running the aftermarket one. Here's my RAM here. 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte, totaling 6,000 megahertz. Go. Alright, so for the RAM, I'm going to refer to the motherboard manual because there's 4 slots here, and while every video I see uses the 4th and the 2nd slots to use their dual RAM setup, I just want to be absolutely sure before I go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and put these guys in. I love the look on them. Clean white and gold look. Yes. And one side looks to be shorter than the other, so these will only go in one way. Okay. So it looks like they're gonna work this way. Yep. Okay, nice good little snap there. That's one. And that's 2. All snapped in. Alright. Now, I'm handling all the motherboard stuff first, so actually I can toss this. We'll be doing the SSD install now too. And I chose to go with the SSD as opposed to a hard drive system for 2 reasons. The main reason was I wanted it to be as fast as possible. The other reason is that I already have a 7 terabyte external hard drive system. Oh, there's some screw in here. Almost missed that. I have a 7 terabyte external hard drive system where I put all my clips onto and do all my editing from, so I didn't need anything over 2 terabytes. I really didn't even need 2, but these are right about, I think, like $45, so it wasn't too bad. And it eliminates the need to have a hard drive system. Alright, so it looks like I'm just going to put this in its dedicated slot. Okay, so I was thinking it was one of these, because it seems like it would fit in there, but actually, the M.2 goes right here where it says M.2 PCIe 4.0. And that's what I've got here, the Predator. So, I'm going to take the cover off, which I'm going to need the 0 for that, it looks like. Well, a 1 would be the best. Yep, I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got my PH1 here. Perfect. Yeah, again, guys, I'm watching a video as I do this, but it seems to be you want to watch a video and refer to the motherboard manual as you go, because if somebody's got a different motherboard than you have, then it'll be a little bit different where things go if you're using different parts, yada yada. But, so I think this is where this guy comes in. So yeah, the motherboard came with this little pad. It says for use single-sided M.2 SSDs, and I believe this is a single-sided, because it's not, there's nothing on the bottom here, and this on the top. So it's already a foam piece here, but I think we need to put this on top of that. But I am going to, okay, yeah, here's a slot for it. So I'm going to try this out without using that and see how it does. I think it just goes in like that, right? And let's take a look. Yeah, so it looks like we want the pad. So let me take this out and put this little pad in there. Little pad extension there. Looks good. Alright, so all I have to do then is plug this bad boy in. And in this case, we won't even be seeing the, actually we might see the Predator if I need to use this again or not. So it looks like I'm not actually going to use this. I'm going to leave that off. I might be making a mistake there, but I don't think we need it, because it would take place of this screw here, and just lining it up there, it didn't look like it was going to sit flush anymore because of how this is. So I'm pretty sure that's how she goes, just like that. And the PH1 would probably be better for this. Yeah. I mean, you can use a PH0 for these if you want, but I got a little bit more torque out of the PH1, so there we go. That is installed properly. I'm going to follow up on the video though and make sure, and then we'll get started with the next step here. Alright, so I got the CPU cooler here, fan thing, and I'm going to install this on top of the CPU there. So I'm just going to put it just like that. Oh, I see. So it just sits in there. And then we'll put this down on the back of it. And those are our holes that we're going to be screwing into. Alright. So now we'll use the LGA 1700 standoffs. Okay, so yeah, this is going to want to come off every time we do that. I guess they give you an extra one. I'm not a huge fan that this M.2 is upside down, but what are you gonna do? So I've been looking at the case. There's the opening back here for this to stick out, so it's gonna sit exactly like that, So I'm going to make sure that the logos on these fans are the appropriate way too. I don't like that that's upside down. That's a little annoying. I guess if we ran it in this spot, it wouldn't be, but I think this was the proper spot for this SSD actually. So, okay. Should I paint it around, I guess? Yeah. Paint it around. Spread it. Although it'll spread when I put the heat sink on there. Oh yeah. That paste is getting flattened. So it looks like I'm just going to be pressing this down. Ooh, I might need a different screwdriver. No, it's just perfect. Okay, that's nice and tight. So I do like working on stuff like this, just tinkering, you know, with tools and using your brain. That's why I started doing all this stuff on my cars, and further tinkering with video editing and everything like that. But that's kind of what this whole thing is about. Is I wasn't recording too much of the actual, you know, hands-on work with the suspension videos, and I wanted to get back into that a little bit. But that would have taken me so much longer to do if I was worried about recording. So I hope you guys understand. I hope you liked the past couple of videos where I've just been explaining stuff. But don't get me wrong, I do like doing this hands-on GoPro. I just gotta get more focused on that. And the suspension situation was just like, I was not expecting it going into it to be that hard and time-consuming. So I just had to put down the camera and focus on what I do, you know. So all right, I've got the fans here. They come through the front holes here, and then they go to the back, it looks like. Okay, cool. So just like that. Now let me do this one. Wants to fall off right now. Just one. Alright, now we have to kind of go around the wires here. Okay, just like that. And then I want to get the right height here. So let me... I think that's good. That looks to be good. Well, I think we want the fan to be... Actually, no, that's pretty centered, yeah. I like that. Alright, so now let me do this side. Alright, fans are mounted. And just like that, this motherboard is getting pretty heavy. Alright, so cooler installed. I really like the 2 radiator configuration there. We got our wires, one coming out the top, one coming out the bottom by the RAM. We're going to connect these with our Y connection that they gave us, but we won't be doing any of that just yet. So I will be tossing this guy and this guy. And another reason I'm so confident in tossing those out, because I'm never going to run another CPU in this setup. And if I do ever want to run a different setup, I already have another exact same fan setup ready to go. So I accidentally bought 2 on Amazon. I didn't realize that I had 2 in my cart. I had probably added it to my cart and then a few days later added it again when I was buying it. So that's definitely what I did there. So I'll have an extra one in case I ever need it. So I'm not too worried about keeping the other hardware for it. I'll keep this open for the fan wiring when we get there. So let's see what's next. Alright, so now I'm going to start with the case unboxing, which should be pretty interesting. It's probably my most, I already opened it when I bought it. It's probably the most exciting part, I would say, at least to me. The case is like the, well, it's the visual part of the whole build really can be seen in the case. So I'm going to try and get this out of here. It's pretty heavy. Oh, I just drop the box out from underneath. Actually, I have a better idea. There you go. Hello. Touching the light. Okay. Alright, now we got another empty box. I'm throwing away all my boxes and stuff because the next part of this is going to be completely redoing my room, so not keeping any boxes. Love my Spydercos. Oh yeah, dude, this is gonna be sick. So they do offer these in a white version, which I considered going with because I have my white RAM sticks. I think I could have gotten a white, whatever you call that, SSD, M.2 SSD, but it was out of stock. And on another website, it was more expensive. So, by the way, for this build, I used a combination of Newegg and Amazon and Best Buy. I actually got the best price on the GPU from Best Buy. That's the 4060 Ti. I'm pretty sure Newegg and Amazon had it for around 500, like flat, and on Best Buy it was like 460. So actually it was like 469. So it was what, like $10 less, which is pretty cool. And I also got my monitors from Best Buy as well. They were marked down about $60 from what I was seeing on Amazon, so that was really cool. So always do your amount of research on different trusted websites. Newegg.com is very good too for building PCs, and they have pretty good prices. They have frequent sales as well, so I'm gonna actually leave this on here till the end, till it's in my room, because that's the other thing is after I build this, it's gonna be sitting over here maybe for a couple hours while I completely do my room. So my first step, I'm gonna be just kind of dissecting this case and figuring it out. So this whole thing is really cool. I've been doing a lot of research and looking into how PCs work and all that, and my content isn't going to be focused on this, by the way. This is just a one-off thing, and also I think it ties in pretty well because this is kind of behind the scenes. And also, if you guys have been noticing a lack of consistency, or maybe just less, seems like I'm putting less effort into videos, it could probably be because of my current PC setup. So I'm not going to go in depth with it too far, but it is a pre-built, I mean, it's not a gaming PC by any specs. And by the way, this is not really going to be a gaming PC either. The parts that I have purchased were keeping in mind being able to run a lot of programs at once, being able to multitask, and just really not thinking about gaming too much. I want to be able to render good photos and videos for editing, of course. But if I can game on it, that's great, and that's looking like I'm gonna be able to do. Because gaming is more of a well, a back burner thing for me right now. You know, doing this is taking up quite a bit of my time, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, if I have some time between uploads and I'm looking good, then I'll hop on the game. But currently I use the Xbox Series X. But once this PC is built, and probably at the end of this video, I'll go over all the programs that I use and everything like that, and maybe some of the games I'm going to be thinking about playing. So I've never gamed on a PC, with the exception of like Minecraft on my laptop growing up. So alright, I already did this. That's funny. They give you instructions how to remove the panel, but the instructions are within the panel. So alright, GPU, yeah, panel, alright. So I'm pretty much, wow, so it has you installing everything on the motherboard itself. I kind of like to set it up beforehand, but I will do the GPU install in the case. But I just wanted to tear this down so I can see what we're working with back here. And I really love this about Montech. Now, I've never bought cases before, so this could just be all cases that do this, but just when I was doing research, I really like the way that Montech sets up their cable management back here. So that was one of the selling points. The other was, this was a $75 case, I'm pretty sure. I wanted something that was like fairly open all the way around, and then it's got, of course, the whole glass side, which is usually a standard for mid-range to high-end PC cases. Alright, so we got our hardware box. I finally got into there. And we got zip ties for management. We got little screws for the main board. Alright, so this we're all going to be using in a second here. And of course we got all our wiring, which I'm going to figure out where all that goes when I refer to the motherboard man. Alright, so I'm doing the power supply now. Cut it open. It's going to go right at the bottom of our case here, which I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it goes in right here. Alright. Yeah, it's going to go out through there. So even though this is going to be upside down, that's fine. That's going to be inside the case anyway. This side will be up though. So slide it into the side here, and it looks like it's just going to line up those 4 bolts, or screws. We're not working with bolts today. Alright, now I'm going to start over. Get them nice and tight. So now that's installed. We shouldn't need these other 4. I'm going to keep all of this until the end. Okay, so I've turned the case on its side here. I'm going to put this I/O shield in. Looks like it's going to go like that. And this came in the motherboard box. It should snap in. Yep. So let's go ahead and set this right down in there. I guess the standoffs are already where they need to be. That's nice. That's real nice. Lining this up at the back here. Okay. Now it looks like all these holes are good. So now I'll grab my... So we didn't need these standoffs, and we didn't need this... It says it's copper sleeve, but this looks to be a tool to where you can set the standoff in there and tighten it using a Phillips screwdriver instead of a wrench or by hand. So I'm going to cut these main board screws open here. I'm not going to tighten this all the way down just yet. Just a little bit at a time. Alright, so our motherboard is installed. Making pretty good progress so far. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the wiring part. And for that, I'm going to go over to the back here. Alright, so we got them up on the computer here. We need power SW, reset SW. We'll just undo all these cable ties and let everything hang free. And pull all these down. So I think this is what we need over here. So we got our power SW. I don't see the reset. Is that here? Yeah, reset SW. So we'll take all of these, keep them together. Okay, that seems to be all the way in there. Okay, that's our type C. So these are our 3.0s. And they go through here. Then plug in there. Okay. Those are our 3.0s. And then our 2.0 I think comes from the type C here. Yeah. That's type C. That's HD audio. This is all our power stuff. And I'm not sure what these are, but they come from the right there. So alright, I think our next step is gonna be putting this through to the USB 2.0 slot, which is pop. Alright, so that goes right in there. That's our USB 2.0. This is looking very messy here. I hope I can fix it at the end though. I'll bump you guys. And then this one through here as well. And not yet. Maybe. Let me just start with all of these. So reset switch. I'm guessing that's what the SW means. Reset switch. Alright. And now we want HDD light. Alright, so I am in the process of wiring this all up. I stopped the camera because it's been, well, nothing short of confusing. I finally found my CPU fan plug, and now I have to continue wiring up the CPU fans. It's kind of weird because I realized on the Y, one of them has a 3-prong, which you can see there, right? Just 3. This one's a 4. When I look at my fans, they're both 4s. Actually, that's a 3, and that's a 3 as well. So, and then these are 4s. So I'm gonna have to figure out how this all goes, but I'm cross-examining multiple different instruction booklets, just trying to figure it all up. And then also, I've got these that still need to be plugged in. I have no idea where they go. So it looks like these came off the case from up here. This one, and then this one says SATA on it, which I think has something to do with storage. I didn't find anywhere to plug this in yet. And then this generic 3-pin one, which might be our ARGB, I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna figure out where all that goes, get it all tied up nicely before getting into the next clip here. Alright, so I've got my graphics card mounted up in place here. I took some time just to go through and look at all the cables and make sure everything was where it's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure they are, but I'm totally prepared for some troubleshooting once I have this thing set up. So I also ran the power cables through, so oh my god, hold on. Xfinity is here today, finishing up what I didn't do, right? Well, it's nothing that I did, but this thing is working now finally. It's been like a week, but the splitter that I had wasn't the right kind. He told me that anything that you get store-bought's not going to be good, so he just put a new one up in there. I actually should close this so the dogs don't fall in. But they're still walking around the property checking it out, so but yeah, that should be all set up. And then here's a little bit of before in my room, right? So it's an absolute mess right now, but either way I want to get everything pulled out of here. So this is my old desk setup, my old computer, and then the screen that my Xbox goes to. But I want to get this all out of here because I have a new desk to put in, but it's an L-style desk, so I think this is what's going to have to work, is it starts in that corner and then cuts out here, meaning the bed is going to have to be moved to that side of the room. Yeah, I'll find somewhere to put the dresser, and then I'm going to leave the amps in my brother's room for now, his old room. But if anybody is interested in some Marshall amps, they are they're probably like 8 years old at this point, but they still freaking blare. And I'll tell you, I never had it past like a quarter volume on the master here because it's just so freaking loud indoors. So it's a 4x12 cabinet, and then I'm running the combo amp as my head, so this speaker actually doesn't work. It just plugs right into these instead, and then it's kind of like my head. So I'd be willing to part ways with these for some cash. So let me know if you're a guitar nerd or whatever. Maybe you're trying to get into it. These are loud, like I said. If you want to play like normal, that's like an 1/8 volume on there, and then like loud indoors is like a quarter. Anything above that, you're getting feedback. So but yeah, I'll show you a little bit more. I do all my guitar playing through the computer now, so I don't need those anymore. But anyway, I'm gonna finish the PC build, get everything in here, take it out, and then start setting up the new setup. And then I'll actually be able to plug the PC in and try it out. So then I'll know how I'm doing with the wiring, you know, if I did anything wrong. But these fat ones came with the power supply, and they give you like multiple different ones, which is really annoying. So this is my CPU one, right? That says CPU on the front. And then there's another one that's the same thing. Which I think I already have it out, but is it this one? Then same thing here, PCIe. There's one here, and then the one that I'm using in here, they're identical. So I don't know why they would give you extras, but yeah. Then I'm pretty sure I needed this because there was this stray SATA cable coming off of the control panel for the case here, it looks like, and I didn't find anywhere on the motherboard to plug that in, so I plugged that one into this power cable right here. So if this all works, I'll see, but this is at least what I think is acceptable. So the other thing was the graphics card here, right? I wasn't sure if I used this slot or this slot. So I'm actually going to refer to here where it says expansion slots. This motherboard supports 2 graphics cards. Okay, so I guess I can use either or. That's what it looks like. Okay, so up there it says PCIe. Where is it? There it is. So PC1E or IE, whatever. X1, that's going to my Wi-Fi card right here. And then the one below it says PCIe 16 is what I see. So that's for the graphics card here, and I'm gonna unplug it real quick. I hope that's okay. Alright. And then this one is same thing, yeah, PCIe 16. So I guess you can use either or here. I might actually try to use this one if I can get it up. I don't know, something about me wants to put it up in this metal one here. So I'm gonna see if I can squeeze it in there between the wiring for the Wi-Fi box or Wi-Fi card, if you will. Okay, yeah, so I'm definitely liking it up there better. And also, this isn't a very flashy graphics card, which is kind of cool. I think it fits the whole theme of the build that I'm going for here. So, yeah, we got the dual fan setup, and I'm actually gonna peel this off now before I forget. There we go. Very cool. All right, so again, I'm still very like iffy about where certain plugs are going. Because the videos I'm watching aren't like exactly the same plugs that I'm dealing with. But I think it's just going to take some troubleshooting. But I know these PCIe ones are for the graphics card here, so I'm going to keep watching this video and update you guys as I go. Okay, so at this point, I think I'm all ready to plug it in and give it a shot. So obviously before that happens, I need to clear out the whole room. And before I disconnect my current PC, I have to... Where am I at here? I think it's already in there. I have to install Windows 10 on flash drive in order to get this thing going. So I'm also just going to leave all this for now. I'm going to worry about the cable management later once I know that the PC is actually working. But yeah, I took all these power cables and I plugged them into the back of the power supply here, which is pretty self-explanatory. Everything's labeled. And it looks like this power supply had double outputs and double cables as well to be able to run maybe... I don't know. I don't know what you would need double of each of those for, but yep, I've got them. So for now, let's see. I think everything is going to be good. I'm not a huge fan of these PCIe adapters because I guess maybe these are for another graphics card, right? To run like that underneath. I'm not entirely sure, but the wires, if you're not running a second one, are just going to be hanging like that. So I'm not a huge fan of how that is in there, but oh well, I guess I'm just going to have to rock it like that and then figure out how to run all my cables back here and up here. I have to get these out of the way of the fans, right? And then somehow tie all of these together. I'm assuming this one, I don't know, we'll probably just have it come straight down. We got a bunch of shit everywhere, obviously. I'm not a huge fan, but again, I want to make sure everything's working before I go and tie those up, because I'm probably going to be unplugging stuff and troubleshooting. So, yeah, let's roll right into the next part of this video. Alright, so we are here, finished product. The PC is finally built, all good, it's running, as you can see. I'm just going to peel off the plastic now. Nice and clean. I really love the way this showed up. We got the constant Aura RGB running. It's synced with the fans in the case and the fans from the air cooler. Reason being, this case has a... I can't really see it through there. It has a dedicated RGB hub. So you plug the fans into that hub, then everything will run in sync with the case fans. So that's pretty cool. Not as bad as I was thinking. So just a couple seconds ago, you guys saw me struggling with the cable management here, but obviously, I mean, the panels are back on, so I'm not going to go show you. But it was really easy. I was just confused because they gave me like double power cables for like everything, PCIe cables, and they gave me double main power. That's all those wires you see coming out there. They gave me a lot of extra stuff, and I was just like at a point where I was like, okay, do I need all of this? Because that's what I was really worried about. The easiest way to sum this up is every piece, every part that you put into the build ends up plugging into the motherboard or power in some way. So as long as you have all your bases covered that way, and you really won't know until you start it up and try it out. So pretty simple setup. It took me about half a day, and then another maybe hour or two in here to get it actually running. So upon first boot up, I only ran into one issue, and that was I wasn't getting signal to my monitors. So all the lights were on, everything was running, and I had the same setup I got right now, both digital, what do you call these, both display ports plugged into the back of the graphics card here, and my monitors weren't reading even when I would switch it to display ports. So what I ended up doing was switching out the PCIe power cable with the other one that they gave me in the power cable box, which is exactly the same, and for some reason that one worked and the other one didn't. So that was the only troubleshooting I really did, and then it came up. I had, I think I mentioned this, I had my, here it is, I had my Windows 10 ready to go. It's little Nina's hangout spot underneath the desk. She loves it too. But anyway, I had Windows 10 on this one, and you actually have to format these. You go to the Windows website. There's this guy on YouTube, Scatterbolt, that has a video on how to exactly set one of these up to have Windows on it. So that's pretty cool. I made sure that that was plugged in before I turned on the computer, so that actually I put it up there. You want to put it in the back, because at first I had it up there and it didn't open the Windows installation. I actually put it in the back, restarted the computer, and then it opened right up to the Windows installation. So right here I got my two monitors for the computer. So this will be for video editing, for social media posting, for uploading my videos, everything like that. Also like researching parts and, well, ordering car parts and stuff like that. And then over here temporarily I have my Xbox monitor, which is like a BenQ 24-inch. I think it's 180 hertz. And got the Xbox Series X down there. So this actually runs like 10 or 15 degrees hotter than the PC does, which is like absolutely gold. So if your PC is as hot as an Xbox, then you got an issue. So just some other things to finish up here before I would say this setup is done. First of all, I have a bunch of these more extension cords to run, so I think I'm going to run another one from the wall there into like this corner down here, because right now this would be my nightstand here. So obviously, you know, anything that you need next to your bed. For me, it's my water, my phone. I'm gonna put my phone charger up there, but yeah. So I gotta run all these somewhere. I might put another one back here. This is the next thing I'm gonna talk about, but there we go. Got the light on. So the Wi-Fi is set up. It actually took 2 weeks. The first week was weekend was my attempt, and like I mentioned, the splitter that I used, which is like down there in the crawl space, was not good enough. So even after I installed it and tried to set up my router, this white light didn't come on. It was still flashing yellow, meaning there's an issue. So I called Xfinity, got them out here while I was building the PC, and now it's good to go. So it's perfect. It's actually really, really fast. I love it. Just the PC in general is like exactly what I needed. I feel like just working on this video, I was like able to import every single clip for the video in like 5 minutes, whereas before that would have taken like at least an hour. And that's what I was doing before. My old setup is I would just kind of import clips one by one so they wouldn't take so long, and then edit as I go, import more. This is nice because I can just import them all at the beginning. It takes like 5 minutes, and then they're all ready to go, and I can just cut. Already I'm seeing, just from editing this video, what you guys just saw a couple seconds ago, way quicker. I love it. And I'm really eager to see later today how quickly this video can upload. Before, and this, I kind of touched on this, kind of like the main things that were holding me back, right? So my old PC, horrible storage speeds. If I wanted to access clips from a storage, put them onto my video, like I said, it would take a couple hours to import them. Next thing was the power issues that it was having. And this started like within a year of having the old computer setup. Is randomly throughout editing, my screens would just freeze up. I couldn't go to another tab, basically just frozen, and I would feel the back of the computer, and it was just like just insane amount of ventilation. So it just goes into like overheat mode, I feel like. So not even like a Control Alt Delete or a Task Manager or anything would help. Not even holding the computer's power button would actually help. I would have to disconnect the power every time, and then it would completely like hard reset, which leads me into the third issue of my old computer was the restarting. It would take like, if I just did a simple restart, it would take a good 5 minutes to get back to what I was doing before I did the restart, and I already tried it on this one. I could restart it and get right back to like editing a video or something in like less than a minute, which is awesome. So that's really cool. I don't know why my old computer did that. I don't know why I did any of these things, but so yeah, I mean, I really like to stick to goals when I set them, and when things get in the way, such as a computer or such as, I don't know, anything monetary, anything I can spend money and upgrade, it's just really annoying. So I'm really glad I took this step. I've been wanting to do this for a little while now. So yeah, some of the other things I'm going to need to do are get longer display cables. So this one's long enough, as you can see, but this one is being pulled just about as tight as it can get. It's got maybe another foot in it, but if I were to move the PC over to that wall, which is what I wanted to do, it would not reach all the way to this monitor. So yeah, that's my next steps. I'm going to be looking at getting longer display cables, because really the idea would be for the computer to go down there, then the Xbox can go up there, or on top if it needs to, if that's not high enough, and then the monitor for the Xbox can actually go like right behind where the PC is right now, which I think would be the ideal setup, because that PC does kind of block the second monitor here, as you can see if you were like in the chair, kind of blocks your vision. So definitely want to move the computer over there, put that underneath. Again, I'm going to need longer display cables. As far as the RGB goes, I just got it kind of clipped up into place. I don't have it stuck yet, because I don't know if I'm keeping this upper stand here for the desk. As you can see, the monitors don't quite fit. They're not very sketchy. Like, I've done some wobbling. I've like pushed the desk too. They don't want to fall, so I think I might just leave it like that. But I do kind of feel like it's sketchy having them hanging off there, so that's why I haven't stuck the RGB yet. I don't know if I'm keeping this top thing. So now, since we're on it, I'll talk about the desk. This is a Temu desk. I don't remember what the name or the sales number or anything like that is, but it was right about $115. It was actually like $105 or something. And really my only gripe with it thus far is how hard it was to set up. It did take like 3 hours to set up, maybe 2.5. And I mean, it was easy. It's just Temu stuff comes in like a bunch of different parts. And this chair is also a Temu chair. Same thing, like, love it. It's great for what I need. But it was like everything came in like individual parts. You had to assemble them. Whereas like the same desk, if you got it from IKEA, it would come in like 4 parts. And all you gotta do is just put it all together. But that's it. Just very in-depth installation. But what's cool is it is completely modular. So if I wanted to, say, take this part of the L, split it off right there and turn it long ways and just have one long ways desk. Obviously that wouldn't work because of my door opening there, but then you could do that. Or if I wanted to change it so that it was blocking the window more, I could take this whole part and put it here, right? So it is completely modular. This is the way that I felt was best for my setup. I also like the idea of just being in the corner here. It's kind of nice. But yeah, this is really opened my eyes to how small my room actually is. Like, I'm standing at my bed right now, and there's only a little bit of space here and like right here, and that's it. And then I got my closet, so I'm meant to put away my clothes standing on my bed from now on, or maybe in that little space there. But yeah, other than that, these are the old filing cabinets that were under my desk. I'm gonna figure out if I can either put them under here somewhere, although I do kind of like the open space. So if not, I'm gonna find places to put everything that was in those cabinets. And then I got this whole thing here. So I built this actually about 2 years ago. It used to be another closet. Actually a really good way of utilizing space. My bed used to be in there after we changed it from a closet to just like an alcove and got it painted in there and everything. My bed was in there and it actually only came out to like here. It's a really good use of space. until I started playing airsoft, and I wanted somewhere to put everything. So obviously you can see most of my guns here. It's not all of them, but this is something I really kind of taken a step back from since I've been doing stuff with cars. So it was a big decision that I had to make, but honestly, I'm so happy that I made it. I was doing this just about every weekend, spending between $50 and $100 probably per weekend, and that's not to mention all the money I was spending in just this gear alone. I was really neglecting the goals I had with my car stuff. While I was really heavy deep into this, I went 2 years without doing anything to the Audi A3. So, and I actually had a RS3 bumper on there with just primer, and I had to get it painted, but I was spending so much money doing this stuff, I never wanted to get it painted, and it went on for 2 years like that. So I finally realized that this isn't really anything I want to do long term, or seriously put a bunch of money into, whereas the cars and the bikes and this channel in general is something that I want to invest myself into. So I will get back to this at some point when I can, but just right now, in the long haul, I viewed it as something that was kind of holding me back. So if you guys would like a video just kind of talking about my airsoft stuff, I could probably make a whole video, so let me know. I can do that. But for now, I think I'm gonna have to figure out maybe some permanent storage, maybe get rid of some of this stuff. I had 6 or 7 different loadouts going, so maybe I can just dumb it down to 1 or 2, and maybe be able to use that as more storage space. Because I got my helmets and stuff over there, my headgear, got more headgear in there, like hats, masks, gloves, stuff like that. Got my combat uniforms, not real, by the way, just airsoft. Right? I didn't serve. I got this license plate covered, carbon fiber. I'm gonna put that in my car for when we're hooning around. Yeah, battle belts, more battle belts, plate carriers, chest rigs, my camera stuff, magazines. It's just insane the amount of stuff I have. All my BBs are back down there, and another plate carrier, a bunch of extra stuff. So this is all airsoft, and obviously this is too. So, and I have more in the other room there, in my brother's old room. So definitely got to weed through there. But after that, I think this setup is pretty much complete. So I just want to get into kind of the main reasons that I bit the bullet and wanted to do this. And I think I talked about a few of them already about my old computer, but yeah, so basically I'm running Premiere Pro on here. You can see it's the video you guys are watching right now, actually. And I don't have anything else open right now, but I am going to run Photoshop as well. I've got it installed. That way I can make the thumbnails, and I want to put more work into that. At least a little bit more work. Shouldn't have to put in too much work to it. And obviously I'm going to be running YouTube Studio and regular YouTube just to keep myself caught up on content. I am a big, as much as I am a creator on YouTube, I'm a big watcher too. So I love watching other car guys. I love watching this computer stuff. I watch a lot of gaming, from X Defiant to 7 Days to Die and COD Zombies, and kind of that's why I still wanted to have the Xbox in this setup, because I'm a pretty big gamer. I was always that way. So getting on the PC, I definitely want to get X Defiant, Minecraft. I probably won't play too much, but yeah, you get the idea. And then I can really just keep the Xbox for my older games like COD Zombies, Black Ops 1, 2, World at War, all those. But then I can play more competitively on here. So yeah, also my other hobby is guitars. If you guys are looking at these, I've been playing since I was actually about 8 years old. It has been my longest hobby over YouTube. Obviously I just started doing this, over video games, over airsoft, over everything. I was playing guitar first. So I think I mentioned earlier in this video, they're not here anymore, the amps, but yeah, I've transferred all my guitar playing onto the computer using this guy right here. This is a Steinberg audio interface. I'm sure that's a official name for it, but that's what I remember it as. And these are your standard usable inputs. I just plug my guitars into one of those. And then this one coming out is my headphone line. These are just the Audio Technica These are really popular in the music production industry. I just use these like all around, and this basically plugs into a USB slot on the computer and allows me to basically play. It picks up my sound, and then I use a software called Steinberg Cubase, which, I mean, I stick with the same brands, you know, Steinberg Cubase, and it looks really similar to Premiere Pro here, but it's just audio files, and then you can trim them up if you want to. You can make like 6 different tracks if you want. You can make like 20, but yeah, that's just something I do kind of on the side. I made one video on my personal channel, Memphis Mayfire, The American Dream. Yeah, it was one of their singles off their newer album. Other than that, I just kind of do it for fun, just to improve my own playing and listen to myself. And again, like stacking multiple tracks on top of each other allow you to maybe record one part playing the lead guitar, one part playing the rhythm guitar, one part playing the backup guitar, and then you can even get into like plugins that will allow you to change the sound of your guitar to a bass or to a banjo or something like that. So it's really cool. Again, just doing that for fun. I do hope to maybe post some of that eventually. Obviously, the car stuff is my main thing right now, so maybe once that takes off, then I can make a second channel or something for all the music stuff. If that's something you guys are interested in, just let me know in the comments. Maybe I can just start posting like on my Instagram or something for now, without going full YouTube with it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Like uses for this new computer, the reason I did it, rundown on the setup, and my future plans. Obviously got my acoustic over there too, which also has a plug. It's an electric acoustic, so I can also track it in the Steinberg there. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this whole transformation. I know I didn't take you through every step of the way, but this video would be like an hour and a half long if I did that. Yeah, I hope maybe it was informative. If you need help with a PC build, if you run into any issues, which you probably will, I'll say I went into it thinking there was going to be no issues. I was watching like 3 or 4 different videos, taking all the information, and I still had my own issues that weren't even covered in those videos. So just kind of being aware of what you are doing when you're doing it, and what each little part is, and just taking your time. Don't do anything unless you're 100% confident that that's where it goes. Let me know if you have any issues. I can probably help you through them. I'm not an expert either on PC builds, but I feel a little bit better after I did this one. But yeah, I mean, as far as my feelings go, I feel amazing. I feel like I can accomplish anything, and that this setup and this video and this weekend is everything that I needed to improve myself moving forward. You guys will see more consistent videos every Sunday. I even want to get maybe an upload time. So I think we'll be pretty good moving forward. I can spend all week after work editing, and then I can have that video done Friday or Saturday saved, and then just start the upload Saturday night, scheduled for Sunday at I don't know, 11 or something. How does that sound? But and hopefully this new editing setup will help a lot. You know, I always have a vision for how I want videos to turn out and kind of some of the stuff I want to do in it, but it doesn't always turn out that way. So I'm really going to start putting forth extra effort into doing that, because it is important to have, you know, some structure and everything, and not just have random clips playing one after another. So yeah, definitely keep a lookout for next Sunday's video. It will be the first video with the Audi back, or the first full video, so I'll just I'm gonna go run it through the car wash and talk about some of the stuff, some of the plans moving forward with it, and that's probably it. But just look out for that one for me. If you could, click on it right away, like it, do whatever you gotta do. You don't even have to watch it right away, really. Just engage, and the speed is really the important thing here. So if you're not already, subscribe with notifications turned on. Share these videos if you find them helpful or entertaining in any way. Really gonna start putting forth a lot more effort, and this was the start of it here. So also, new intro, new outro, I'm working on them. We should be getting started with season 2 here either next week or the week after that, so stay tuned. So yeah, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and don't forget, always stay objective driven.